Hello my fellow whale watchers and welcome to another episode of Rush Hour. This time I selected a very interesting battle for you that was decided in favor of the team that simply made a bit less mistakes, and together with explanations of a few tactic moves I will outline a few of these mistakes to you in this video, including the biggest blunder by the red top player that has probably cost the red team this battle. So let's go! We start with the Phantom, and after evaluation of our options we go for a center here. You may notice that I turn outwards in this situation. This is a move that I have already shown you in other battles. The idea behind it is simply that in case a Revenant jumps on us, he will land outside of the beacon circle, and this will still allow us to continue turning this beacon blue. So we managed to get center, but we will not be able to hold it for very long, because the red top player, who is a well-known name in War Robo's Champion League battles, attacks us here. He is first focusing our teammate in the Capri, which is losing health rapidly here, so this indicates that the Capri is not maxed and will die very quickly, and it indeed does. So let's stop here for a second, because we try to figure out our next logical move here. We don't seem to have team support yet, and the Fenrir will simply toast us if we stay here. So is it worth to sacrifice our Phantom in this situation in order to get a bit more beacon time? Probably not, because the center beacon on Rome is a bit different to other center beacons. Players that spawn their robots on it drop outside of the Colosseum. So even if we would die here and would jump into another robot immediately, we would not be able to hold that beacon. So for this reason, staying here and locking it down for a bit is not really a good option. We see two of our teammates here that are in the process of taking B, so it's quite redundant to go there. So what else can we do here in order to make ourselves useful? So here's what I did. I leave the teleport on the center beacon and then watch this. Surprised? Well, it works more often than you think, because the red home beacon is often left unprotected in the starting phase of Rome beacon rush battles. Everybody goes towards the side beacons and nobody is willing to sacrifice spots at the start, even if they see what's happening. I have my ability as a backup in case somebody jumps in, but nobody does, so I take the beacon. Sometimes it's as simple as that. So instead of trying to die at center, I will now lock this beacon down here. So let me fast forward a bit, because otherwise the video will take too long. Believe it or not, this is an Aoguang. And finally we get toasted by a Fenrir. So let's stop here for a second. I told you in the beginning that this was a battle where the team with fewer mistakes won. In this situation, I make a mistake. If you watch closely in the next couple of seconds, you will see that for a fraction of a second I will step outside of the beacon circle of beacon E. So as a consequence, I lose about a quarter of the beacon charge here. This seems very insignificant, right? But after I die, it is my intention to spawn my shell there, and it's exactly this fraction of a second that I will miss to be able to do that. What a blunder. So in the end, I don't have a better choice than to spawn in at B and support my teammates there. In the aftermath, that was maybe even better, because my shell would have been destroyed by the Fenrir anyways, who knows, right? But in the situation itself, I was quite angry with myself to let it happen. So let's fast forward a bit again. We brawl around with the shell and bring in some damage, but cannot really help our team here. So when my shell finally gets destroyed, the situation is not much different than before, you may think. But look at this picture here. Do you see the imbalance? Yes, all 6 red players are around C. So this is clearly a great opportunity for counterplay. So instead of joining their brawling party once more, I bring my Capri and go for D. This is even more important as a move, because my team unfortunately could finally not hold B against 6 reds. So we need some relief here. We will be able to take D, and after that I will simply stay around this spot, because as you will see, this is a great spot for a support Capri. As long as you manage not to get flanked and hold the beacon, you can do a lot of things there. Most notably, provide mid-range damage support to center, even through the central tunnel, as you will see. The bending projectiles are perfect for that. I will start combating again around the 4:30 mark of this battle, because shortly after that the game deciding blunder will happen. Enjoy the gameplay! Alright, welcome back. At this point of the battle I had to take more risk with my Capri because otherwise we will simply lose this battle. Support gameplay is nice, but it also won't bring us any beacons. So in the end I get destroyed and we end up in this situation. Now if you look at that, there is actually not a lot that our team can really do here. The Reds hold 3 beacons and also have a beacon bar lead. They are facing our potential spawn points and all of my team is at beacon D. So if you ask me, there is a bigger chance that the Reds will also take 8 than our team getting any other red beacons. So in my opinion, if this is played out between skilled players, the red team will simply win by default. But now things will change a bit. I will just go forward a couple of seconds on this view, pay attention on what the red arrows are doing. Alright, so let's stop here again. What has changed? My team is launching an attack on C, and look at the arrows of the red players here. They are now all facing beacon D. So this opens a small window to get B here. So what I will do is, I will spawn my Orochi at A and try to sneak it away. We see how this works. Orbital strike, somebody noticed me. Let's finish off these 2 here. And then we skate towards A. Almost the whole red team is currently defending C, so maybe that works. And now the scene that is deciding this battle will take place. First, another Puncher Orochi jumps in here, so we need to get him out of the way, because otherwise he will block the beacon. Orochi versus Orochi duos are tricky, but usually won by these players that use their ability more effectively, and that time the Puncher reloads in a smarter way. But there is also another factor that is even more important, teammates. Because thanks to my teammate, we will bring this Orochi down to last stand before he can use his ability, and when he gets out of stealth, he dies. So let's quickly stop here. I will now replay the last few seconds, but this time I want you to pay attention to what is happening in the background on that beacon. Let's go. Did you see that? So this was the red top player. He spawned a Fenrir and goes straight to center, which was in the meantime taken by our team. So here's the thing. If he stayed on the beacon where he spawned, there would have been no way for us to get that beacon now. This is a maxed Fenrir with all bells and whistles, but the red top player suffers from something that I call situational blindness. And there is a reason for this. Situational blindness comes in when you're very focused on achieving a particular goal. And it's driven by emotions, not by logic. This is why objectively it's often the wrong path to follow, and it can cost your team the game, as in this situation. You will experience it, for example, if somebody kills 2 of your robots. Then you really want to get this dude, don't you? In this particular situation here, the red player has fought the last 5 minutes or so at center, trying to hold and defend it, and now it's taken over by our team. So what happened? Exactly. My precious. He wants to get it back at all costs and ignores everything else around him. This is our luck, because now I can simply take this beacon. Also because of another mistake, the dude that just lost his Orochi, for some reason that I don't understand either, jumps in at the red spawn, basically for no reason. Anyways, our Orochi finally also gets taken out by an orbital strike, and we end up in this situation. These are my options. What would you do here? So here is what I did. C is safe, and it does not really make sense to jump in there in any ways, because I will end up outside of the Colosseum. One option could be to protect B. A couple of Reds already seem to aim there, but I thought the most reasonable choice would be to bring my mighty Luchador and try to get D here. With my Cinders and all the cover around, I was confident to be able to get and to hold it too. Let's see. Alright, I mess up my jump here a bit, but nonetheless I end up in the right spot eventually, and we will finally be able to take back that beacon. No chance for the Fenrir here. Then also the red top player is coming, so let's toast him. Even Meta Fenrirs will go down eventually. Then we do a bit of damage support from here, locking down the beacon. And then I make a couple of mistakes too that luckily will have no impact on the game. And actually I was even lucky that I made them in the end. There's nothing really happening at our beacon here, so I thought it's a good idea to jump on that corrupted Fafnir that comes out of this tunnel. because I was confident that I can take him down. However, I jumped a bit too late, so he can sneak out here. That was my first mistake. My second mistake was that I activated my reflector shield here and became stationary, because I did not expect this Fafnir to go for the beacon, but of course he does. I would have done the same. And because of the fact that my ability is active now, I won't be able to reach that beacon again before he turns it red. But I got lucky. A teammate jumps in here with a Fenrir. So if I could have wished for one thing to happen in this situation, I would have wished for a Fenrir to jump in there. Perfect. He will deal with the Fafnir and eventually get our beacon back. Then I see the red top layer approaching our blue beacon in yet another Fenrir. And because I did not jump on our beacon before, I can now jump on him and just make it in time to keep the beacon white. Then we toast him as well and can turn the beacon back to blue after this. So some 20 seconds before the end of the game, we will finally take the beacon lead and win this battle quite safely in the end. So that was a very interesting battle, a few mistakes by both teams. In the end, we managed to beat a very strong team that just made this one blunder that was too much. Keep in mind, many battles these days are decided in favor of teams that simply make less mistakes. I hope that this video was useful for improving your own Beacon Rush gameplay. Thanks for watching and see you on my channel.